Why haven't I uploaded for a long time? Because I've been making things for you. This video isn't just about this stuff, it's about science and fire tornadoes and footage that you haven't seen yet of the fire tornado gun. Here we go. So for one last change on the vortex generator, I added this aluminum tube to the inside that I just ripped out and these steel blades to try to force the Coanda effect to make a better fire tornado. And you didn't get to see the video from that because it didn't work. So look at that now. So the whole reason I added this tube and these blades and these little blades inside of there is because I thought that the air, if it was traveling at the right angle, would be more likely to stick to the tube. Coanda effect, right? And then I wanted the fuel to be spinning when it came out of the tube, even though it's going around the Coanda cone. It's complicated. Let me just draw you some pictures and explain how this worked. This is basically a cross-section of what I called my Coanda cone. The reason I called it Coanda cone is because I wanted to utilize the Coanda effect, which is basically a fluid flowing over a surface tends to stay attached to that surface and therefore causes laminar flow. A byproduct of this would be that the propane that came out at a very high speed from the nozzle would hit the Coanda cone and be slowed down so that the vortex chamber would have a chance to make the fuel spin, like a tornado. Just the Coanda cone in the chamber is what you watched in the actual using it video. It worked all right, but the fire tornado wasn't shooting nearly as far as it was when I used the laminar flow vortex generator. I have a friend named John who's an engineer who suggested putting a tube around the Coanda cone to extend the distance that the fuel would travel when it came out so I could get a long fire tornado again. I also added vortex generation blades around the outside of the vortex generator to change the angle that the air was exiting to keep it connected to the tube more efficiently. So what I hoped would happen would be that the propane would enter the vortex generator and some of the fuel would go around the outside and get caught by the swirling air and cause a fire vortex to occur, and then at the end of the tube, the fuel that was coming out would extend the fire tornado much further because it would get caught up in the vortex that was already generated. That didn't happen. Instead, the vortex of air burned out all the propane that got around the outside of the tube, and then it dispersed into the atmosphere, and the fuel that was shooting out the end just ended up being a flamethrower with no vortex. And here's a short clip of what that looked like. Since that was an epic failure, I decided to add vortex generation blades to the inside of the Coanda tube, and also to shorten the tube so that the fuel that was coming out was already spinning when it met up with the air that was spinning on the outside. And since the tube was shorter, the fuel would actually catch the fuel on fire and it would make a nice little fire tornado. This also failed. It ended up heating up the Coanda tube, which was made of aluminum, so much that it melted it. I knew that creating a strong vortex in a small area would be a big challenge when I started this project. In fact, that was kind of the challenge, except for fitting everything into the Nerf blaster. But what I didn't see coming was the fact that it would be so difficult to film. I filmed this thing so many different times, and it took forever to get people together to come over and run cameras, mostly cell phones, because I just have this one camera. And I've used this to film every single project that I've done on this channel. And you guys said in the comments of the using it video that I needed new cameras to film with. And you were right, and a whole bunch more of you liked those comments. So that's why I decided to sell stuff to be able to raise money to get new cameras, because I can't afford to get awesome cameras to film with. And this will increase my production speed, because right now I'm relying on other people to come over and film with their phones to be able to get slow motion and HD video, because I only have one camera and I have a really old cell phone. So that's not going to work. And I didn't want to just run a GoFundMe. I decided that I'd make stuff so you could actually get things for me that I made myself. So I designed these stickers with a friend of mine. I also made these awesome coasters that I painted by hand and epoxied so that they're protected and they'll last for a really long time. And they have felt on the back so they don't scratch stuff. And since my no lathe pen challenge video was so popular, I figured I'd make a whole bunch of these nut pens for you guys to buy also. I had Kydex and straps left, so I made these hammer shot Nerf holsters. There's only 3 of them, So if you want one of these, you better act fast because I don't have anything left to make these things. All this stuff is available on the online store that I created that you can go shop at now. And if you don't have the money to go buy stuff, but you still want to donate something, you can get on Patreon and give me like $1. And if you're already a patron on Patreon, don't buy anything yet because I'm sending you stuff anyway because you're already a patron and you're trying to support my channel. And if you don't even have $1 to donate on Patreon, I have Gawkbox and Tad, and links to those are in the description. That way you can go do the little things and watch ads or whatever, and that'll help support my quest for awesome cameras. Anyway, in the future I might revisit this project at some point, but until then, I'll see you next time when I do my 1,000,000 view special, The Secrets of JAIRUS of All. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.